Mobile water, unique in every way.
Hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News.
Let the water flow. I will speak to him directly. President John Dramani Mahama. Yellow blood do.
This bulletin is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM here in Accra. We are on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com, and affiliates in all 16 regions of Ghana, including Kekeli FM Ho, Bishara Radio Tamale, KTU Radio Kofodia, Oyo City Radio Takrady, and Castle FM Cape Coast. Live on X Spaces, Facebook, and YouTube. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Our top stories: another day of long winding queues as scores of commuters are left stranded for hours, battling soaring transport fares as shortage of commercial vehicles brings the city's daily rhythm to a grinding halt.
Oh, it's always to happen.
It's always happening. Very difficult because coming from Ablikuma, already you don't get a car and you stay in traffic for like 2 hours.
Of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union call for the removal of the Transport Minister, describing him as incompetent in tackling the transport crisis.
The Minister of Transport supposed not to be at post again.
Like tourism, schooling, and business, also in sports.
All set for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations draw as Ghana's Black Queens await group stage opponents.
And in today's episode of our feature series, Roads of Peril, we are in Gomwanya-Nyano in the central region where years of neglect have left a key road choked with dust into an exhausting ordeal.
Yeah, Juma, 5 years.
I've been driving from Kaso to Nyenyan for the past 5 years, and almost every week, something goes wrong with my vehicle. We are appealing to the authorities to fix the road for us.
This afternoon, it's been another day stranded for hours under the scorching sun, battling soaring transport fares as a crippling shortage of commercial vehicles brings the city's daily rhythm to a halt, disrupting work, trade, and school routines. My colleague Fatal Bayaga has been speaking to some commuters. Have a listen.
A lot of people are struggling to travel to their various destinations because of the continuous transport challenge. Many of them told me that they came here very early, but they got here and to travel to their various destinations. I spoke to a pregnant woman who told me that she came here about an hour ago, and it's been difficult for her to get a vehicle to travel to Achimota, among other places. So let me engage some of the commuters who are here.
I've been here maybe 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Okay. But has this, or is this a situation that has always been happening, or is this today?
Oh, it's always to happen.
It's always happening. Very difficult because coming from Ablikuma, already you don't get a car and you stay in traffic for like 2 hours. And then you get here on a normal day, there's a very long queue here. You stay in a queue for about 30 minutes at least before you get a car and you get to work. So roughly you spend about 3-4 hours before you get to work every day. And at night too is the same issue. Yeah, so it's very.
You hear that some commuters in La Paz are speaking to my colleague Fatal Bayaga. So you visited other communities?
Exactly, Pearl. This situation is pervasive and is affecting a lot of commuters across the city. We checked along the Pokwase stretch and many commuters were stranded there. And in fact, the frustration was palpable on their faces because they say that this has become a ritual almost every single day. They, wake up, they want to go to work, they get to the various transport stations, and vehicles are mostly conspicuously unavailable.
Fatal Bayaga, thank you so much for that update. Let's stay with the story because some members of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union are calling for the removal of the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, accusing him of poor management of the transport sector in Accra and other major cities. Second Deputy Public Relations Officer of the union, David Agboado, spoke with my colleague Fatal Bayaga this morning at the La Paz bus terminal. Listen.
The government has to sit up and analyze the situation and let us all solve it amicably. But if I will say something right now, I will say the Minister of Transport supposed not to be at post again.
You want the minister sacked?
That is what I'm saying.
The transport minister must go.
The transport minister must go. The reason why the transport minister must go is this. He is not performing. He is not performing in his ministry. Why am I saying this? When you go to Gold Board, the CEO over there is performing well. We are all giving them credit. When you go to finance sector, Honorable Setekpe is performing well. When you go to Atuforsen is performing well. When you go to Bank of Ghana, the governor over there is performing well. When you go to MPA, fuel was 17 cities, now 10 cities and 11 cities. Is it not performing well? So what is the transport minister doing at his office?
David Agboado further attributed the transport challenges to a reduction in the number of operational vehicles, explaining that many drivers are unable to afford spare parts despite the relative stability of the city.
45 to 50% of the vehicles are in shops because of the high cost of a spare parts. Sprinter bus, you can see, sprinter bus is what we use over here. A back castle of a sprinter bus is now costing, recently it was 55,000. But as I'm speaking to you, it's 7,500.
Still on transport-related issues, spare parts dealers at Abusokai are rejecting claims that high prices are responsible for the shortage of public transport vehicles, insisting they should not be blamed for commuters' ongoing frustrations. Let's hear from the chairman of the Abusokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, Frank Ocheri.
If you come to Toyota, Vitz with Uber and everything, prices have dropped. Batteries, like shocks. I mean, the dollar is down, so there's no reason why we are raising our prices. You understand? We have a challenge with the Sprinter, the people that sell the Sprinters. That's the only challenge we have. But aside that, you can go to all the stores around here. Prices have dropped. I have engines here that I was selling for 15,000. Now I'm selling for 10,000. As you can see, I sell engines. I also have batteries. I have oils. I was selling oil for 600. Now it's 350. I was selling battery for 1,700. Now it's 1,002. Some is 1,000 Ghana cedis. So prices have dropped, and we have to give credit to the government. They are doing a very good job.
Meanwhile, the government says it is set to introduce electric buses as part of measures to ease transportation challenges and reduce pressure on the existing public transport system. Mayor of Accra, Michael Kpakpo-Allo, during a visit to Abusokai, said the initiative is aimed at addressing the week-long transportation crisis.
AMA is bringing electric buses. We are starting the first metro transport in Accra, which we are going to have a very cheaper fares. With 3 cedi, 4 cedi, you can go wherever you want to go. And the price is going to be the same. If you pick the car from Accra to Circle, it's the same. If you pick a car to Carnation, it will be the same.
Let's bring you other stories. And some communities across Ghana continue to grapple with severe water challenges, disrupting daily life and livelihoods. At Bachono East, along the Spintex Road in Accra, residents say enduring water scarcity for more than a year has taken a heavy toll, particularly worsening household finances as they struggle to secure water for basic needs. My colleague Noella Karen Yale visited the area earlier and spoke with some residents.
For now, you won't get water. There's no water. It's almost about 24 hours, there's no water. So as for this one, you won't get.
So how much do you charge for this?
This one, I'm charging 900 Ghana cedis.
900 cedis. 900 cedis for 6,000 liters. Initially, how much were you charging for this?
Charging 700.
700 cedis. And now it's 900 cedis.
No water. Before we get water, it's not easy.
It started about a year and a half ago. We waited for so many months. The water comes sometimes in the night, and you have to come and sit in the mosquitoes in the night, hoping that you get water. You don't get water.
More
than a year and a half, and we still don't have water. And when you call the tankers to bring water, they tell you, they say we shouldn't supply water. Who says you shouldn't supply? Ghana Water says we shouldn't supply water. So if you don't supply water and you are not opening my tap, it's like what you chim inside the chim and then I'll bomb my soon.
This afternoon, Ghana's embassy in the United States has clarified that U.S. President Donald Trump's visa ban that was applied to 75 countries yesterday does not apply to citizens applying for short-term travels like tourism, schooling and business. The United States on Wednesday announced a suspension of immigrant visa processing for applicants from nearly 80 countries from around the world, which included Ghana and Nigeria. But according to Ghana's diplomatic mission to the USA, some category of applicants are exempt. Joining me in the studio is my colleague, Kweku Asante. Kweku, please clarify this for us.
Well, so in a very short Facebook post, Ghana's embassy in the US explained that he had sought confirmation from US authorities and that indeed the US State Department had confirmed that B1 and B2 visas will continue and that only immigrant visas were being paused. In fact, according to the U.S. Department, U.S. statement, which is implementing this visa processing freeze, this will apply to only immigrant applications. An immigrant visa is issued to a person who intends to move to USA permanently with the aim of living and settling there long term. It usually leads to permanent residency and eventually citizenship, while a migrant non-immigrant visa, on the other hand, is issued to a person who intends to stay in a country temporarily for a specific purpose, such as tourism, work, or study, and does not grant permanent residency.
Kweku Asante, thank you so much for bringing us that clarification. Now let's go on the phone lines and speak to international relations analyst and associate professor at the University of Ghana at Legon Center for International Affairs and Diplomacy, LISIAD, Professor Daniel Kipo Sunyenzi, rather. Good afternoon. Thank you for your time here on the Midday News. Now, how should Ghana approach negotiating with the U.S. government on this latest development?
All right. Thank you very much. And thanks to dear listener. I think that government of Ghana, as the ministry, has been a key player. I remember somewhere last year we had student visa and even tourist visa were also put under restrictions. But the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the Sector Minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto, through their own diplomatic engagement with the U.S. Embassy here and even the Homeland Security and the rest of them, they were able to renegotiate. And Ghana was freed from that restriction that was going to affect a lot of thousands of Ghanaian students going to the United States. Now, this is a new one that is going to affect not the student and not tourists, not business, but those who will want to have permanent residence in the United States of America. There are those that will be affected, and Ghanaians are included. I'm sure that we may have to go into it. Our leadership will have to go through the same diplomatic engagement, starting with the U.S. Embassy here in Accra. We need to do some kind of background diplomatic engagement, lobby with the government of the United States to see how Ghana could be taken out. Because Ghanaians should be able to have the statute. Those who want to stay in U.S. permanently, they should be able to stay there, and that is not bad for our country. We will encourage that. And I think our leaders need to go to engage with the American authorities so that we can have these restrictions that are put on Ghanaians on immigration visa taking off, just like the non-immigrant one that was taken off from last year.
Professor Sunyenzi, there have also been suggestions of Ghana hitting back with retaliatory measures. Is that the path we should adopt?
No, I wouldn't recommend the government of Ghana should go for retaliatory measures or should do tit for tat. I don't think so. Diplomatically, Ghana is a small state dealing with a big state. So I think that we should rather engage with diplomatic engagement, behind the scene engagement, lobby, work, so that we can have Ghanaians to benefit from the immigration rather than taking a hostile approach. Ghana need not to be hostile to the United States of America.
You hear the international relations analyst and associate professor at LISIAD, Professor Daniel Kipo Sunyenzi. In other stories, the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, NACA, has rendered a public apology to parents and stakeholders over the controversial definition of gender in the SHS2 Physical Education Teacher Manual. The Curriculum Assessment Council was forced to recall the manual following severe public criticism over attempts to suggest that gender goes beyond the binary male and female sex. The minority and some civil society groups have called for a full-scale probe into the matter and an immediate dismissal of the NACA boss. But speaking on PM Express last night, Director General of NACA, Professor Samuel Ofori Bekoy, first revealed that investigations have revealed who inserted the definition into the manual.
We have spoken with some of them, those who wrote the manual.
Who are they?
I think in my explanation,
who are they?
And then,
when you say they, who are
I
they?
don't want to mention names here. We spoke with some of them, and they were also involved in the writing of the curriculum. It's not like those who wrote the manuals are different from those who wrote the curriculum.
Okay, so are they Ghanaians?
They are Ghanaians.
So they wrote this definition in the manual?
Exactly so.
I see. So
and we spoke to them, and then they tried to give reasons why they did that. But we felt that no, the reason wasn't that, because if the reason they were indicating was so, then they should have provided more than one definition.
So there was no foreign influence at all in the...
No. Well, I don't know whether those people were influenced, but it's not a foreign person that put that in there. It was Ghanaians. Those who wrote it were Ghanaians.
He also apologized for the mishap, as he says an audit has been triggered into all manuals and curriculum issued in 2024.
We are reviewing our verification and validation process to ensure that this doesn't occur again. We are also even thinking about what we are going to do a review KD to PSET, how we even do the empaneling of the writing or the review team. We are reviewing that. I've also just this afternoon directed that even all the other materials were developed for the SHS, including the curriculum and the learner materials, should be comprehensively reviewed. Fortunately, they are in digital format, so doing that review is going to be easy, and the review has started.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Education, Harun Idrisu, has clarified the government's stance on the definition of sex, stating it will strictly refer to biological sex. He made this clear during a training session in Tamale on the Ghanaian Youth Handbook and the rollout of the GNC framework. Ms. Idrisu emphasized there should be no ambiguity regarding the biological definition of sex in Ghana's education curriculum.
There should be no ambiguity whatsoever in the definition of a man, a woman, and sex. For our purposes, the sex of a person at birth holds. That depicts and reflects Ghanaian values and our norms. And that is how we want to bring up all Ghanaian learners in an environment that they appreciate, that the morality of our society rests in the extent to which they uphold these values. So I thought that I should use your forum to respond appropriately to this, and we have accordingly corrected it. So reference to a man, woman, and sex is reference to a biological sex. So forward, every publication of the Ministry of Education and the GES, and to all heads of institutions involved in the educational space, must respect this natural definition of sex and natural definition of a man and a woman, nothing more.
You're listening to the Midday News. Still ahead in today's episode of our feature series Roads of Peril, we take you to Gomwanyanyano in the central region, where years of neglect have left a key road choked with dust, turning daily travel into an exhausting ordeal. We have that, including sport.
All of our properties at home have been destroyed. This is a short road. We plead with them to come fix the road.
You're welcome back to the Midday News. Mubarak is here with sports news.
Yeah, Pearl. So in less than an hour, the draw for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations will take place in Rabat, Morocco. Ghana is among the 16 teams to have qualified for the tournament. The Black Queens are in Pot 1 and could face Zambia, Cameroon, Senegal, Cape Verde or Tanzania. The continental event will kick off on March 17, and it serves as a qualifier for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup to be hosted in Brazil. Back to you, Pearl.
Thank you so much, Mubarak. Now, they are forced to endure the dust and drive on roads riddled with potholes. That's the daily reality for drivers and residents of Dawa, Kojoku, Memenda, and other nearby communities in Gomoa Nyenyano in the Gomoa East constituency of the Central Region. In our continuing feature series, Roads of Peril, I spoke to residents and motorists in these communities on the impact of the deteriorating road network. In Gomoa Nyenyano, dust has become a defining feature of daily life. Drivers move very slowly on the road, carefully steering around deep potholes to avoid damage to their vehicles. The constant wear and tear has made repairs a daily necessity, and many say the cost eats into nearly all of their income, making it difficult to support their families or meet basic needs.
From KEF linked to Millennium Junction.
From Nyanyano KEF to Millennium Junction and from Nyanyano KEF to Gomoa Fete, we have not seen any construction work on these roads. I've been driving since 1987, and this is how I've taken care of my entire family. I'm constantly spending money on spare parts because of the poor road conditions.
But because of the nature of road, move to part one cedar. When you be just one day, it's my name. Sir Atmasi. It's your best say. Kakria KD or your match is on shed and your match. Your best authorities no. Won't you win bashe Gomaniano.
This busy stretch, which connects Kaswa to Nyenyano and other nearby communities like Dawa, Kojoku, and Memenda, is riddled with potholes and eroded patches, forcing vehicles to slow down and drive with extreme caution. The road, according to residents, has deteriorated for more than 4 years. They say the dust seeps into their homes, affecting their health and overall quality of life.
It has been 8 long years. Our MP, Honorable Desmond, promised to help fix the road. However, after winning the seat, he said that road construction is not his responsibility. We are therefore appealing to the government for support. The dust is unbearable. Traders are suffering.
For traders like Gifty Oye, daily exposure to the dust on the road is taking a serious toll, not just on her health, but also on her earnings. Every day she spends hours carefully cleaning her goods before they can be sold.
That's high because of
the dust is too much. People are often reluctant to buy, and they complain about the dirt on the food. There are days we don't even feel like selling because of the dust. We are appealing to the government to fix this road because business has slowed down.
Now let's stay on roads at this time, take you to the Ashanti region, and Kumasi residents are counting on the government to pay attention to some 4 major stalled road projects in the city to ease congestion and open up the city for business. They also hope the Siwa Road will be completed immediately to properly link Kumasi to the new regional hospital.
The Sewa Road network, though a bit on the outskirts of Kumasi, is crucial because it links the new Ashanti Regional Hospital to the rest of Kumasi and the Ashanti region.
This road is one of the main reasons why the hospital has not been operationalized. It will serve quite a number of people as a regional hospital for Ashanti region.
We are really suffering on this road. We need quota. We are always servicing our cars. All of our properties at home have been destroyed. This is a short road. We plead with them to come fix the road.
It is supposed to be the dualization of the Bekwai roundabout to link Santasa roundabout. It has stalled for months, if not years.
As you can see, they haven't completed the road, but it has been abandoned. They should fix it for us.
Good idea.
The shoulders of both lanes of the road are degrading. We plead with the government to resume works on the
road. This is a solution to huge traffic congestion on the N6. Perhaps this is a response from government to all the road expectations of Ashanti region to say that we are dualizing this road and linking it to the rest of Kumasi, and the rest will follow. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaridonko.
Away from road-related stories, the Auditor General has cracked down on what it describes as massive financial losses under the Agenda 111 hospital program, surcharging 35 contractors and demanding the recovery of $7.9 million in mobilization funds paid out with little to show on the ground. The audit service found that although the state disbursed $11.16 million to contractors working on 19 hospital sites, actual work executed amount to just $5.96 million, leaving millions of dollars effectively unaccounted for. My colleague Kwiku Asante is with me in the studio with details of this. Kwiku, what does the findings really say?
So, Pearl, the findings are contained in a validation review after a special audit into the Agenda 111 contract. It says that an additional $4.35 million was paid to 11 companies who together executed up to $2.49 million of work, leaving $1.92 million of work not done before their contracts were terminated. After receiving the various mobilization sums paid between December 2021 and December 2024, some of the contractors failed to move to site and others executed work that is less than 10% of the value of the payment received.
There was also a breakdown of the contract.
Yes, of the total amount 24 contractors whose contracts are still valid are to refund $5.96 million because the work done is grossly inadequate, according to the Auditor General, compared to the mobilization they received. The report lists instances of payments for zero work. For example, at Adeso, Imperial Homes, Grand Unique Company Limited and Terrafoco Limited were paid $1.01 million, $81,074 and $130,910 respectively, but would have to refund every cent for executing zero work. Similarly, Casa City Limited and Dynamic Access Limited received various funds to build a hospital at Agbobulushi but did no work. The report lists other contractors to be surcharged for zero work done.
And also tell us about the terminated contracts.
So, in the terminated contracts category, Halloward Ghana Limited was to build a hospital at Adabokrum, was paid $67,000 for no work, while Dominion Covenant was also paid about $129,000, also for zero work executed, with Arun-based Company Limited, which was to execute a project at Bunkurugu, carrying out no work. One of the largest single payments for minimal work was $960,000 to Mendana in Susa, which was to build a hospital at Mankraso, but carried out less than 10% of the value of the work before termination, leaving $375,000 of work not done. The Auditor General says the state must go after these funds and retrieve every one of them.
Kwiku Asante, thank you very much. It's time for What's Trending, and Adovia is here. I haven't seen you this year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too. What do you have in the trends?
Pearl, Nigeria, AFCON and Daniel Lai are trending as expected. Nigeria is trending because they lost to Morocco in yesterday's game. You know that.
And I was so sad.
Were you?
Yes.
Okay. So Ghanaians especially are teasing them on social media. You know there's this friendly feud between Ghana and Nigeria on a number of matters, including whose jollof is better and all of that. Yeah. This time Ghanaians just didn't want Nigeria to win this AFCON, so they'll be at neck and neck with them.
We don't want that. Not all Ghanaians though.
Hey, sorry, I'm not part of that category. So Daniel Lai is trending because while Ghanaians say he professionally delivered yesterday, Nigerians are saying otherwise. And you have one Ghanaian user saying Daniel Lai wasn't just any referee in yesterday's game, he was just brilliant. But Nigerians are countering that with a whole lot of attacks. I'll just take one person's comments.
Okay.
Emmanuel Dia says, Ghanaians, we will never forget this. So that's what's trending.
Thank you very much, Adovia Sari, and that's how we end the Midday.